We are beginning with the race for the Martin County Commission, and in District 1, we have Doug Smith. Doug, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for coming out this evening. We really appreciate the opportunity to get before our residents and talk to you. Every 4 years, there you go. Every 4 years, you have the opportunity as residents to decide if your incumbent has done the job that you elected him or her to do, and if not, there are usually challengers that are out there suggesting they may have a better way, one way or the other, to do what you'd like to see done. And so the campaign is really all about getting back out in the community, meeting with your residents, talking to people, and hearing what they have to say. And then at the end of the day, there comes the election, and then you all get to decide whether or not I get to keep my job, my challenger gets to replace me, and we move on. Things that are incredibly important to me are public safety and welfare. Our firefighters, our sheriff's department, the health of our river, everything all aboard Florida, and jobs. Hopefully we'll get into some of those issues later on this evening, but again, thank you all very much for coming. League of Women Voters, thank you so much for having us this evening.
Thank you. Jackie Thurlow-Lippisch.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm Jackie Thurlow-Lippisch, and if you don't know me, I am an 8-year commissioner for the town of Soles Point, former mayor, and I am also a local. I have been in Martin County since 1965. My family has been here since 1952. I went to school here at both public and private schools, and my sister still lives here. She works at Martin Memorial Hospital as their physician's recruiter, and my brother lives here, and he is a tax attorney. My mother is a historian. My father is a retired attorney. I have roots in this community. I know the stories of this community, and I have spent the last 7 years as an advocate for the St. Lucie River, Indian River Lagoon. You can go to my blog at jackiethurlow-lippisch.com to know where I stand. Cities and counties relationship is also important to me, as is getting along on the board. Thank you.
Candidates for District 3. Darlene Fujetta.
Hi, Darlene Fujetta, and I am here tonight with a strong purpose in my heart and clearly putting the best interest of the citizens of Martin County first. It's for that reason that I've decided to withdraw from the race for county commissioner, and for some very important reasons I'd like to take a moment to share with you. First of all, as a result of recent discovery of secret emails, which belong to Ann Scott, which a judge ruled to be direct evidence of an unlawful refusal to disclose public records, litigation has been reopened that has the potential to cost Martin County taxpayers upwards of $72 million. Subjective application of the comp plan leads to lawsuits, a plethora of lawsuits. In fact, the county now has 12 attorneys on staff.
Thank you, Ms. Fujetta.
Thank you.
Harold Jenkins.
Hi, my name's Harold Jenkins. Lived in Martin County nearly my entire life. My family came here in the 30s and farmed in West Jupiter, or what is now Jupiter Farms. I moved to Hope Sound, to the house I grew up in at the age of 7. By the way, if anybody wants to know how long it was, that's 49 years ago. I am a principal of Preserve Martin County, a group that was formed about 5 years ago to warn the voters of what the western sprawl would do to our communities. With that was also the importance of supporting our CRAs and redevelopments of our coastal communities and drawing in diverse economic development necessary to sustain us financially. That is my platform. Thank you.
Ann Scott.
Good evening. I'm Ann Scott. I am the current commissioner from District 3. I seek another term in District 3, fully aware that I was elected by all of the people of Martin County and that I serve all of the people of Martin County. I I will not respond to personal attacks that have been made here tonight, except to say they're erroneous. And should you wish to know more about it, please call me. I will leave my cards outside or come up and see me afterwards. I wish to serve you for another term because I feel we have done tremendous things in this county to preserve what we all hold so dear, and that with another 4 years, the direction of the current commission can be strengthened and continue. Thank you.
Candidates for District 5. Edward Campy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here to share my opinions and views with you all. I am very happy to see such a large crowd this evening. Thank you for turning out to be involved in the community. If my name sounds familiar, it's because I was a commissioner in District 5 from 2008 to 2012. 2 of those years I served as the chairman of the board. I had no real intentions of seeking additional public office, but based on encouragement from the community, and I felt that the direction of the current board had certain things that were detrimental to our community. I have a passion for public service. I feel that we should all find something that would allow us to work to give back to the community that's given us so much, and that's what I'm hoping to do again with your support. Thank you very much.
John Paddock.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here tonight. I am the current Martin County Commissioner in District 5, and I have represented you for the last 3.5 years with honesty, integrity, and fairness. I have worked very hard to protect our quality of life. I have taken a very strong leadership in opposing all aboard Florida, and I have worked very hard on environmental issues. I initiated the resolution to ban fracking in the state of Florida, and I've worked on water quality issues not only in Martin County, but throughout Southeast Florida as the chairman of a board, a regional board. As a result of my efforts, I've been recognized and endorsed by Nathaniel Reed, one of the foremost environmental experts and Everglades experts in the United States. A commissioner and a public servant needs to listen to all of the people. He needs to listen and learn. And even more, we need to...
Thank you, Mr. Haddox. Donna Melzer.
Good evening. My name is Donna Melzer. I've lived for 30 years with my family, and we have been very happy here. It's because of that that I have decided to run again. For the last 20 years, I have fought hard for our quality of life in Martin County. I have fought hard to keep our comprehensive plan protections strong and in place. It's not been easy. In addition, I have fought against big sugar impacting our lagoon like they are right now. I'm the only candidate that has worked that many years, fought that many times to try to make us different, keep us different than the rest of South Florida. Just recently, my 2 opponents were on a radio forum, and they indicated that they opposed adding a supermajority protection for our most important pillars, our 4-story height limit, our river protections, and our low density. I don't understand that. Thank you.
Now for the questions, and we'll begin with Jackie. After they're lovely. I have to take them out of the sealed envelope. Why are you running for county commission?
I'm running for county commission because I feel that I am the best candidate to represent the overall wishes of people in Martin County. That being environmentalism being my #1 strength, but I also come from a business family. I also come from an educational family. I worked as a teacher for over 10 years and then as a real estate agent for over 10 years. I supported myself 100% until I was 40 years old and married the most wonderful husband in the world. I know what it's like to have to work here and support yourself and your family, but I also know how important it is to protect our quality of life, and no one will fight harder for you and for our river than me.
Harold Jenkins.
Same question.
Same question.
I'm running because when we put together Preserve Martin County, we had a basic premise of a lot of things that needed to happen that our current commissioner is not following through with. Supporting our coastal communities and redevelopment will by itself help protect us from western sprawl. Western sprawl itself is another issue that we need to do our very best and fight our very hardest to protect our communities that we have. Bringing in reasonable, well thought out, diverse economic development is something that is not being done and absolutely has to be done for us to be able to financially support ourselves. Thank you.
Ann Scott.
Well, forgive me, I am usually pretty good at, on your mark, get set, talk for a minute. But tonight I am pensive and quiet. We are in a state of absolute emergency here in Martin County, as you know, given our water, that this is a health crisis. And on the way here, I learned that there's been another courthouse shooting, this one in Michigan. I am here with a heavy heart to tell you that I have done all I can to try to make life better here in Martin County, to try to preserve the goals and ideals that we all hold dear. And I know there is more that I can do, and I hope you give me an opportunity to do.
Repeating the question, why are you running for county commission, Edward County?
Thank you. As I said in my opening, I'm running because I feel that Martin County residents need an advocate, working class families, students, seniors, and of course our environment. The environment is an issue that's very important these last couple of weeks with the green algae, but it's always been important. And when you hear folks talk about that they've been battling for many years, we need results. If our current situation is any example, we have to have results. My opponents and I give you a unique opportunity as voters. Each of the three of us have been single-term commissioners, so we are able to run on records of accomplishment or lack of accomplishment. It's not about I hope to do this or I promise to do this. You can research our track records and see exactly who's accomplished what or who hasn't. We can hopefully get into the environmental issues this evening. I'm sure that's what most of you have on your minds. But it's time for an advocate that will represent all citizens of Martin County, from newborn children to senior citizens. And I thank you.
John Adams.
I'm running for re-election because I love my job. I love serving my community. I've led a life of service, 20 years in the United States Navy, 12 years serving Martin County veterans. But more importantly, in 4 years you gain knowledge and experience. And in speaking about results, what I've been doing in regards to water is going to lead to results. And that is, I have been working with Palm Beach County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade. And with the help of their delegations, that will provide more support to our delegation to get done what we need to do, which is we need to bond the money, buy the land, move the water south. I can help do that, and I will.
Donna Melzer.
I am running because I believe that Martin County residents like the county that we live in and want to keep it that way. Our comp plan protections are our local constitution, and without them, we will end up like the other counties, where the economies are tough, taxes are high, and things aren't going well. I've worked hard for the river and as part of a grassroots efforts. Without the grassroots efforts, we would be nowhere. We wouldn't even have SERP, which is the Everglades Restoration Plan. We are making a difference as a community working together, and that is my goal, is to work with you for the goals that we have of keeping our county strong and different from the rest of South Florida, because that is the basis of our economy, our happiness, and our future.
Thank you. We will begin question number 2 with Mr. Jenkins.
So I get to go?
No, it's done.
It's okay. I'll take the next one and the following one if you want. I'm running because 16 years of experience makes a difference. Having that experience in Tallahassee and having that experience in Washington at a time like we're in right now with the meltdown of the river is super important to have. I'm running because there are a lot of issues that matter to me, that matter to you. Law enforcement, public safety matter to all of us, especially at a time, and as Ann just pointed out, if we ever need more, now is the time to support them. Something I have spent 15 years to 16 years working on and want to see through its completion is the IRL South program. We're almost there. We have $395 million worth of project being built out in Indiantown. It's a huge, huge project for us. We've made quantum leaps, but we have a lot more to do. Defeating all aboard Florida matters to everybody in this room and everybody in our community. Serving our public is all about commitment. It's making a promise, and it's following through on those promises and commitment. That's why I want to be your commissioner for the next 4 years in District 1.
Thank you, and I apologize.
No worries.
Again, question number 2, we'll start with Harold Jenkins. Which county budget allocations would you adjust and why?
Well, you're asking somebody that's never been a county commissioner, has not read the budget, so I'm going to struggle with that one, and I'm honestly going to tell you I can't answer that. I'll pass it to Ann.
Dan Scott.
We have just received the 2017 budget, draft budget. We will go into our workshop in just a few days, a week or so. Once again, it is the folly of sitting with a 6-inch thick book full of numbers and lines and details that I could not possibly analyze for where there is who is getting too big a slice of the pie and who is not getting a big enough slice of the pie. Should the pie be bigger? And there are a lot of people in Tallahassee, agencies that get to demand slices of the pie. It is something we really need to take stock of. It is up to the departments to make those cuts, and we need to give them the direction as to where we can trim.
Edward Campbell.
Thank you. The term that I served from 2008 to 2012, all of you remember is known now as the Great Recession. It was the most difficult time to be a county commissioner because your home values were down. People were struggling to keep their houses and their jobs, but the county government needed to continue. So I have an excellent background on handling difficult decisions that don't necessarily take away from the quality of life you expect, but still bring our financial house in order. What I would do currently is immediately address the numerous lawsuits that the county is currently embroiled in that's costing taxpayers millions of dollars. And I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying a majority of them. I would also eliminate costly studies and hiring professional consultants when you can rely on members of our community that are experts in their field that would definitely volunteer their talents and services, and also our terrific county staff. Thank you.
John Harris.
First thing I have already done is I was the only commissioner that voted to freeze our 2 top-level executive salaries. We have very high salary levels with some of our department heads and county attorney, county administrators that have been here for years. Second, we need to prioritize our budget. Public safety, law enforcement, and fire rescue have to be the first 2 items that we make sure we take care of. Then we have to look at water quality and go down the line till we get to parks, libraries, and amenities that are very, very good, and we all want top-notch parks and libraries, but we have to prioritize our spending or we will continue to raise your taxes. We also need to negotiate rather than litigate, and we need to save some money there by just being more friendly and working with people better throughout the community.
Donna Melzer.
It's tough, but Martin County employees have worked very hard to try to minimize our costs, but there are always things that need to be addressed. I'm very concerned about our libraries and parks. I feel like they've taken a lot of hits. I don't support the $4 million that's proposed for expanding the splash park, adding a diving facility. That just makes no sense at all when we're so strapped for money. The salaries that are above $100,000, Stuart News has done a great job of talking about those. I think those have to be scrutinized. The Business Development Board has to be looked at just like the tourism did. The tourism revamping made a big difference, and I think the BDD has not lived up to their promises. The water issues, of course, are top on all of our lists, and we cannot shortchange our ability to go out and get the job done on getting it right and making Big Sugar sell their property to us that we need. We have an option.
Repeating the question, which county budget allocations would you adjust and why? Doug Smith.
So some of my major focus areas, number one, are our stormwater dollars that I have made multiple motions over the years to support and to add money back into the budget when it was depleted and taken out of the budget. Stormwater is a constant issue for all of us, and it's something we have to work on. Septic to sewer, we've started to work on moving in that direction. We have a long way to go, but we need to have a fully funded strategy on how we convert our older septic tank neighborhoods to sewer. The CRA program, we need to keep on track, fully fund, and listen to our residents. They are the ones at the ground level. Those are the ones who know best what they want for their community and need for their community. And I feel it's our obligation as a county commission to support them in that effort. Fire rescue, sheriff's department, by all means, the training facility for our fire rescue department has been put off for years, needs to be implemented. The sheriff's department has all sorts of projects that we need to work on with them together. And lastly, this building that we're sitting in last year for $90,000, we could have opened this on Sundays, and the board chose not to. It's a priority. Thank you all.
Jackie Thurlow-Libish.
Thank you. What I noticed when I reviewed the budget for Martin County was that so much of Martin County's budget comes from other things than ad valorem taxes. But for us, ourselves, our ad valorem taxes are where our money is going. And I looked at that budget, and they have a dollar that shows you how everything breaks down from our ad valorem taxes, from each ad valorem tax dollar. And 22 cents of every ad valorem tax dollar, according to the budget in 2016, went to fire rescue. Now, I support fire rescue. I broke my neck in 2001, excuse me, and they saved my life, basically, and my ability to walk. But I think we need to look at, would it be a good idea to just review what went down the hole so fast with the city and the county fire rescue, just to study where all that money goes. Thank you.
Harold Jenkins, would you like to reclaim your time on that question?
I'll take this.
Reclaim my time. Well, I agree with Doug with the stormwater and the septic to sewer we need to fund. If we're going to be such an environmentally sensitive community, which we are, and protect our lagoon, those two items right there are what it's all about. The septic to sewer needs to happen, it needs to be funded, it needs to happen in the most environmentally impacted areas first. Stormwater is as important, and the Detilio project in Hope Sound is a great example of something that is doing what it's designed to do and clean the water. So those two items right there, I will say is the two things that I think need to be prioritized. Thank you.
We will begin question 3, our final question, with our District 5 candidates. Edward Campy. Which proposed actions are most likely to improve the Allen disaster? Edward Campy.
Improve it, meaning, can you repeat the question?
How do you improve a disaster, right?
Yeah. Correct the disaster?
Let's
Not
correct
to
it.
improve a disaster. You're looking, if the question is to correct or solve this disaster, I think that's a two-pronged approach. The immediate disaster, Ecosphere and others that are working, I think are remarkable filtering technology. That's within the next couple of days and weeks. a short term, meaning a year or so, I think the continuation of the C44 reservoir project and anywhere that water can be stored so that it's not coming through the locks into the lagoon and the estuary, holding water north of the lake to start with is an excellent idea. And then the long-term answer is obviously finding the natural flowway back south that will require a Herculean effort by everyone in this room, everyone in our community, everyone in our state, and everyone in our country, and billions of dollars. But I think we're up for that project, and there's no response. We have no choice but to take care of that issue. All of those approaches need to be handled.
John Haddix.
Well, we've been working with South Florida Water Management. They are doing a good job, the best they can, of holding water north. And despite the fact the federal government tried to keep them from doing that because of some snail kites that live out there. The other thing, we have two issues. One is the immediate disaster with the algae. The second is a long-term solution. New technology like EcoSphere. There are other companies that have chemicals. We're going to do a request for proposals. We're going to see what companies can come in and what they can do. Second, I'll be going to Washington, D.C. Wednesday night for meetings Thursday with federal agencies, and we'll be looking for the president to declare a disaster so we can tap into federal funds and use some of these technologies to clean up our marinas, get their employees back to work, and get people back to their boats.
Donna Nelson.
I think it's very simple. If you read seen the new petition out that's called Now or Never Glades, it spells it out. The bottom line is the scientists have known for a long time. The Department of Interior has worked on it for a long time, and the University of Florida confirmed it. The land that we have on option with Big Sugar needs to be exercised now. We not only can take that land and use it for water farming today, or quickly, but we can also, that will also be land that is no longer in Big Sugar farming. Every time you have acres in Big Sugar farming, they require an optimal water table. So they make sure that our lake is kept for their benefit. We need to stop that, and the governor is the place that we have to go. We've got the petitions circulating. Please keep them circulating. Thank you.
Doug Smith.
Thank you. The question, I think, was the immediate crisis and what do we do about it? We need everybody pulling in the same direction. We need our state government, we need our federal government, we need everybody in this room and everybody in Martin County to do everything we know how to do. It was mentioned earlier, there are some 30 options that have been suggested to the county as to issue-related fixes for the current crisis at hand. EcoSphere has done a remarkable job over in Ryle. There are other companies that posed other ideas. I think we should be looking at every option on the table to make sure that we don't miss a single idea, because there are a lot of probably very good ideas. IS2 will be in Washington on Wednesday and Thursday to make sure that Washington understands for Martin County what's important, and see if we can't get a presidential declaration of disaster. We need the federal government to come in and aid and support the state, just like any other natural disaster that we have. We need all hands on deck, and we need everybody pulling in the same direction.
Repeating the question. Which proposed actions are most likely to improve the situation with our algae disaster? Jackie Thurlow-Clippers.
Thank you. I believe that we are at an incredible time in history where we actually have the ability to change the horrid situation that we have been in since really 1950 and 1923. And the immediate actions that we can take is that we can start documenting the people who are getting sick in Martin County, short-term and long-term. You all have probably read about Dr. Cox and his research on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, which is linked to these toxins, these neurotoxins that are part of microcystis algae that is in our river. This algae came from Lake Okeechobee. It is documented, it is true. Our federal government dropped this algae through S-80 into our St. Lucie River and caused this problem. The water transfer rules that are part of the United States government never accounted for what has happened over the past month. We need to look at the law, and we need to require them to change it
Thank you,
and
Mrs. Thurlow.
send the water south. Thank you.
Harold Jenkins.
Well, for those of you on Facebook right now, the article that was written by Mr. Reed in 2012 is catching on like wildfire, and it is an awesome read, and it really lays this out. There's not one answer to this. The whole system needs to be done, and it needs to be done as quickly as possible. From the Tamiami Trail, sloughs under the Tamiami Trail, to restoring the land south and buying the land south of the lake, reinforcing the Hoover Dike to contain more water, restoring the Kissimmee River, water farming, and water storage. These are all issues that need to be done. Unfortunately, there's very limited amount that the county can do, other than not forget about it and keep up the pressure that we've recently done with the commission's help with the resolution that was done to the governor. Unfortunately, 6 months from now, when that we need not forget 6 months from now and keep up the pressure.
And Scott.
Of course, the first thing you have to do is know what the problem is. Is it economic? Yes. Is it tourism impact? Yes. Is it health? Absolutely. And we cannot face this alone. The Army Corps is responsible for the amount of discharge. The state is responsible for water quality. The Department of Health and the CDC are responsible for public health concerns. And the DEP and the EPA are responsible for our environment. I will lead our delegation to Washington, and I will do everything in my power to get them to recognize that this is a common problem with a common solution that is up to all of us to take up and solve. Our health, our children's health is at stake.
Thank you. Candidates, I personally want to thank you for putting yourself out on the line. We live in a wonderful country, but the only way we can keep it strong is when we have good candidates that are willing to put in the work, the time, the effort, and the money to be able to run for office. I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, please join me.